Hello guys, welcome to another interesting video on your Leansimcorp channel. And in this today's video, we are going to learn about advanced in Flexsim and we are going to understand level 1 of modeling in warehousing. Okay, so according to me, I call this as level 1 in warehousing. Then we will have advanced level 2 and level 3. Okay, so currently if you could see that we are going to create a simulation model. This is going to be a warehouse model where you're going to supply parts in the pallets with particular type of SKUs to particular areas in a rack, okay, whichever are already assigned to those areas. And from those areas, then you're going to create outbound orders, and from that outbound orders, these are 4 outbound staging areas. Okay, each operator is going to create its own unique pallet, and that pallet will have multiple types of SKUs, which these operators will go to the rack, say it will pick this orange, it may pick this blue one, it may pick these twos, depending on the orders we have created, and it will form its pallet and then it will send out. So this is the objective, or this is the logic how we need to create for this particular warehouse project, and that is what we are going to learn in this today's video, understanding about how we can create global tables, assign the labels, find the slots in the rack, then place that part in perfect slot, then how to find out the item in warehouse, how to locate the item in warehouse, then how to pick up only single item from that pallet, and how to fulfill your order, then place it onto the pallet and deliver it. Okay, so it's going to be a great what I can say, a combination of complex logics and stuffs into that. So you need to have at least good amount of knowledge about Flexsim basics and moderation, okay, so you can understand this. So now let us begin this video. So the logic starts from this source. If you see this queue, where if you see Q1 is here and then we have another Q2. If you see in this model, we don't have source. Okay, so what is going to happen? So we are going to create an inbound process using a process flow. So have a look at this process flow from top to bottom. So what is going to happen is, I'm just going to run this. We are going to have the parts generated onto this Q1, and we're going to pull the parts from this Q1 onto this Q2 to form a complete pallet. Okay, complete pallet means what? We are going to form unique pallets. Like for example, say we have our quantity fulfilled for that particular SKU, then that pallet is what we are going to create. Before I go into this and process flows, let us understand the data point. So we have a global table here with which we have 5 types of SKUs. These are the names of the SKUs and these are the quantity which has to be in the inbound pallets. Okay, so we need to have 16 parts to form one pallet of SKU1 and 6 parts to form one pallet for SKU2. Okay, so if you see, this is my SKU3. So it means that unless and until I'm going to have 24 parts of that SKU, I am not going to form a pallet onto Q2. Okay, and if you see, you can modify the values here and automatically the process flow will get updated, and your data is going to get modified accordingly. So now let us talk about it. We have these 4 operators into the system, okay, which are called as placers, and these placers are assigned in the resource here, where we already created a group for the placers, for the pickers, and for the staging area, which I mentioned earlier, the staging areas, pickers, and the placers. Okay, so this is how it is going to work on. So what we have done is, we have assigned this 4 operator to place the part there. Now let me take you through the process flow and then let us see how is that going to work. So first what we need to do is, we need to create a box every 10 seconds. So that is where we have assigned an exponential distribution for the time here from 0 to 10 seconds. And then in the assign labels, what we are going to do is we are setting up a label of SKU. As we already saw, it has labeled with 3 as a SKU, type. So basically the label we are assigning at this area, which is SKU, where onto your item. And if you see that from the table SKU, my row is going to be the uniform. Again, I have put it a distribution here with my first, if you see, this is how it has been taken. So the minimum value is 1, maximum is going to be your number of rows, which is my 5. So basically it is nothing but it is a range from 1 to 5. You are going to have the uniform. And then I have selected a column 1, where you see that column 1 is nothing but SKUs values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here what I'm going to do is I am going to not randomly, but by using this distribution of the uniform, I am going to assign the SKU labels to the item. Now what happened is we have this what I can say label of SKU assigned to the token. Sorry. This is not assigned to the item. This is first assigned to the token, and because then we are going to create a item, a object, and that object is going to get the label from the token. Now let us understand create object. Okay. Now what we did is now we have a SKU value on our token. Now what we need to do is we need to create a box, right? We need to create our SKU part. What we did is this is how we need to use your create object. You're going to assign what type of flow item you need to use. It's box. Quantity you need to decide. You need to decide where you are going to create. So I'm going to create it in a Q1, and I am going to assign. It is going to be assigned to token.item. Okay, and if you see the created thing, okay, is nothing but your token.item. And to that, basically, I am going to assign the label SKU referring to token. Therefore, it is token.SKU. Okay. So, we first labeled token with SKU, then we created the item, and that item is now labeled to the value of the token. Okay. Now, we created the item into the Q1. It is also having the SKU. Okay. Now, it comes down. Again here what we have done is we have assigned a new label here now, and that is nothing but the palletizing quantity. Okay, that is nothing but the palletizing quantity, and the name of the label is palletizing quantity. Again, that is assigned to the token, and that has been referred, that has been referred by this quantity column. So what we do in the table, token.SKU, we are going to get, so 4, then it will refer 24, 2, then it will refer 2. Okay, this is how it has to be returned. Once this is done, this is how it is returned. The rows and the columns into this table, it is going to get a value of these like 16 or 6. So now we assigned what palletizing quantity should also be. Okay, after that has been done, we come down here in the batch, and in this batching, what we are now doing is we are asking that to batch the tokens with the palletizing quantity. So for example, if you say this is a third SKU, right? And the third SKU needs 24, and that is where if you see it's 24, in which I have only first part came inside this. So this is the type of your SKU. This is your how many parts came out of 24. So if you want to mention your palletizing quantity, you need to mention that here in the batch quantity. Okay, the batch quantity you need to put the token.palletizing quantity. What is this going to do? This is nothing but going to be making that the batch quantity is going to be 24 here. Okay, now once that is 24, what is going to happen is here you need to keep it as it is, number of tokens in the quantifier. How many tokens we are going to release? We are going to release only one token. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to merge your 24 tokens into one token, and that is going to get released outside. Remember, you need to put this value field also here. Why is it very important? We are going to group our items based on the unique SKUs. So you need to write this here, token.item.SKU. So, for example, what does it mean? If my third type of part is there, it is going to go in this batching. If I get another part which is of type 1, I will have a separate ID created here for type 1. Okay, with it would be 1/16. That is what it means. Okay, so it is going to group based on your SKU type. Then what you need to remember in this batching is you need to put this label like this. Very important, guys. What we are doing here is we are going to put an array, okay, of label values from item to item 1. Okay, and what does this do is it is going to create a new label referring to your item. What you're going to do is here you're going to make the array. Okay, so probably I don't have that token yet came down, so you can see that array. We'll see that ahead. So that's what you need to write. You need to make this type. This way, if you put, what you're going to do is, what is your token.item? Just have a look at that. It's your Q1 box 1, right? So you're going to make an array of all 24 parts with the reference of their item. Okay. So for example, I have 2 parts. Then it would be in an array Q1 box 1, comma Q1 box 2. Okay. That means that is how we are going to do. So we are going to make an array of all item references into a single label named as item 1. Okay. Once that is done, what we are going to do is in the bottom the custom code here. This custom code is just for the debugging. Nothing has been made in this. Okay. When we come down here, what we're going to do is we're going to put a zone here now, because I want to make a 1 palette at a time. Okay. No mixings, no crunchings, and no such stuffs. If you want to do multiple palettes packaging together, you can also do that. Let me know in the comment section below, or you can reach out to us via email. So then we can discuss how that can be done. But currently it's like 1 palette flow. Coming down here again, what we do now here in the Q2 is I'm going to create another token.item to reference, which is going to be my fresh empty palette. Okay, so you need to remember this. You need to rename this because item 1 is your box, item 2 is your palette. Now once we come down here in the run sub flow, we are going to now use run sub flow. Run sub flow, where you use it, you are going to get it from here. So just a point to be noted here, if you are watching directly this advanced Flexsim tutorials, and if you don't know how to use run sub flow, how to do the process flows and stuff like that, we already have a detailed series on that which is already available in the basics. So have a look at that so that you can have a glimpse of what each element in the process flow means. Okay, going in a run sub flow, what we're going to do is we're going to put a starting location, that start here, and in this run sub flow, what you're going to do is you're going to put token.palletizing quantity. What is this going to do is it is going to ask your token to run in a subflow for 24 times, talking about SKU3. Why 24 times? Because we need to have 24 pickups, of a part onto your palette, right? You need to pick up 24 parts, put it onto your palette 24 times. That is where we need this run subflow to be used. And we're going to use, remember to run token 1 at a time. Here what we're going to do is we're going to assign a new label now, which is named as index, and it is refer with creation index. The reason for this making creation index is that it is going to create, say for example, 24 times it is going to run, right? The first time the index is going to be 1. Second time index is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why we need that, we'll understand ahead. Okay. Now the moment we are going to have the indexes, we come here, we are going to set a color of the objects. We are going to set up the what I can say, we are setting up the color for the objects. So we are setting up the color for the boxes, and we are setting up the color for the palette as well. So this is how the syntax has to be. Have a look at that. That how you are supposed to be, giving a color to the palette and the items based on your item type. Right, so basically you need to use this color from palette syntax. It's already been covered in our Flexsim coding, which is already available on our basic tutorials. Have a look at that. Okay, then how to use colors using scripting. So this is how the syntax has to be written, so that referring your SKU type, your part and the palette is going to get colored. Coming down here, so if you see here, the index is being used because for every first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and the 24th part, you are going to have this being worked on too. That is where you need to have a look at. Then you are going to have a move object. What you're going to move you're going to move each item. So if you see token.item is nothing but an array of items. You know, it is going to have array of 24 items. So first item, it is going to move. Then this token.index is going to be 2 for the second run subflow. That time it is going to pick up the second part and place it onto the item.2, that is palette. So pick it up from and place it onto the palette. This is how this works. After we have placed the items onto the palette, what is going to happen is we are going to put in a labels now to the palette, because palette we didn't assign any label as of, all the labels were to the item, right? Now it has to be assigned to the, what I can say, to the palette. So that is where we are assigning it. Token.item.sku has been assigned to the SKU of token.item2. Okay, so that palette is now going to get assigned as a label. Here, to remember, label is not assigned to the token, because token.item we are using at the top. If you see, we have only token, so the labels were assigned to the token. Here we assign it to the palette, which is under the Q2. Okay, so that being said, we come down here and then we have a find slot here. And this is a really interesting, important and complex thing. We need to have. What we are going to do now here is, in this find slot, this has to be token itself. This is by default, it will come. Token.slot is again default. Here you need to put this as token.item2 because you are assigning slot to the palette. Okay. So when you do this, what you're going to do is here, remember this, we have just created a process flow as of, okay, which is going to find a slot. But the item is not going to go inside this if you don't have anything being created. That is, you need to use paint labels. Okay. So before we go inside this find slot, what I want to show you is that you need to assign the slots for each item type to your rack. Going to the paint slots here, go to the library, come to the warehousing and click on this paint slot here. And when you look at this, okay, when you look at this SKU, when you look at the availables, when you look at the types, okay, you are supposed to see multiple different stuffs. Okay, so for example, if I make this 2, if I make this 1, if I make this 3, you see, this is about type. When I look at the SKU, and I look at the SKU, you see this? You see this? What you're seeing? When I make this type, right? This is what I already just painted. But what we need is, we need SKU. So what you need to do is, you need to type in a label here as SKU while you are first going to paint the label. Okay, then you need to type your values. So for example, I want to make slot assignments in my rack for SKU1 type. Okay, then you can go here and assign, like you can select you want the same label or same base, same object, whatever, according to your requirement, and then you just need to click on those and pick. So what I did is, I basically did as base, same base, and then I just basically clicked onto that, and then my base were done. Okay, so what I did is, if you see item type 1, these 2 spaces are allocated, the first 2 spaces from each rack. Then the if you want to see what is brown color, then brown color is type 2. Then what is blue, it's 3. What's 4, it's pink. So what's Y, it's gray. Okay, so if my item type 5 comes, it will be sitting here. If 3 comes, it will be sitting here in this purple area. Okay, so first you need to paint your slots. Once you have been painted your rack, then you need to come here, find the slot here. What you're going to do is, where SKU, which is our SKU coming in this, is going to be token.sku. Okay, what is $1 is? $1 is nothing but token. So token.sku is automatically taken. So what you're going to do is, you're going to match. Okay, is my SKU equal to my token value? Okay, token.sku. Okay, now this SKU is nothing but your label which we assign onto the palette. Okay, it's matching the palette's token, and it's matching the tokens token or tokens label and the palette's label, and then use this syntax slot that has space. Okay, because this is very important. It's going to calculate on its own whether it is going to have a slot is available or not for the placement in a rack. So use this syntax straight away, slot dot has space. In this you need to use $1, again that is token dot item. Okay, and you just need to leave this. So you need to use this syntax in order to find your slot based on your label of your item and label of your token. So basically what's happening here is the label on my item, that is palette, and my token is going to be again same. So it's going to refer that and it is going to place, it is going to find a slot accordingly. It hasn't moved yet for your information. It is just find it out the slot. Okay. Now coming here in the bottom, what we are going to do now, we have created an assign labels thing. Okay, decide is nothing but just a testing purpose here we have done here. Okay, and in the assign labels we are again assigning the details to the token. Okay, and that is nothing but your destination. So we are assigning a label destination to the token. That means we need to find out that where it has to be placed into. And how we find it out? We find it by token.slot as storage slot dot storage object. So this syntax we have been using, and this is going to get us the syntax. Okay, so let me just reset and run and put a debug there. Okay, just for the information, and we have one of the thing coming here. Okay, so we have our palette ready, and that is for SKU2. Okay, because SKU3 is not yet ready. So what I discussed is this. If you see, this is item type 1, SKU1, SKU4, we have 13 parts, SKU5 9 parts, SKU3 8 parts. So we already have this SKU2 which is ready with the palette. Now let us understand what we have done from the top till this, find a slot here. Okay, now what we did, we got a SKU, we set it up a label to the token, then we added the token.item, which is Q2, palette 1, box 1. Then palletizing quantity, we also saw, we set it up a label depending on the type of the SKU. Now what I was talking about the array, it is here. Okay, let me just stop and continue. Okay, so what I was talking about is this array. Okay, this is what the array we have created, and this is consisting of 6 parts. If you see this, box 6, box 5, box 4, box 3, again these are the same boxes which are of my type 2. Okay, only type 2 items I have pulled from this queue, remember. Okay, and that is what is the system saying. Okay, so if you see here, so we are having all these SKUs with type 2. Now we have type 2 details available here. So this is how the array we created for the item or label. Item 2 was our palette, okay, which you remember in the create object, we already assigned another label that is for the item. So it's palette, item 2. Then in the slot, where here we find slot we did, and here if you see it's like token.slot, we are going to assign whatever slot we have find it out. So this is the slot which we find it out. Rack 1, variables, base 3, label 1, slot 1. You got this? So this is the rack address which we find it out by using the query which I just showed you. And the purpose of the query is to find out the location which is allocated to my SKU type and check whether I am having the space or not in that. If I have space, I will pick up a slot. If I don't have a space, I will not pick up a slot. That is where these two queries were. First, to find out that, okay, whatever assigned area I have, whether that type of part I have. Okay, so I showed you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, in myself, I have 5 types of SKU which I can fit, and that is what it is coming. Okay, so first type of SKU is coming. Okay, now whether I have a space, yes, then this will find a slot. So that is the additional query we have written, whether I have a slot or not. After that has been done, if you see, this is how the slot has been traced out with that syntax been used. And coming to the destination here now, in the destination, if you see, which we assigned here, right, in the assign labels, which I was talking about, token.slot, which we assigned already here. Okay, that slot, we are getting out the storage object, and that is nothing but the rack. Okay, we are finding out which is that storage object where I have my slot. So that is my rack 1. Okay. So my destination label is rack 1. Now what I'm going to do, coming back here, in the resources I have assigned the resource as group placers, if you see. Okay, number of group members. So the group placer and the placers are these 4 operators. This will be acquired here, token.resource. Coming back down here, this placer, whichever is been acquired, will pick up an item 2. Okay, because item 2 is pallet, remember. So you need to use item 2, and from the station it has to be picked off. Okay, then we have exit zone. It's not a big deal. Then unload, what we are going to do, we are going to unload that to the destination rack. And at the destination rack, again, what I've done is, in the slot assignment strategy, make matching labels, and that label is slot.sku should be equal to item.sku. So this is a complete inbound process from where we created the parts. We batched those based on the type. Then we pulled those onto a single pallet. We batched those again. Okay. Then we finded a slot for the available slot into the storage system, and then we transferred that pallet to that particular rack, and I'll show you that person transferring the pallet. So this is a placer been selected. Okay, we will take that, and that is item.2, right? And that should be placed in this first. So these third and fourth is a place for them. Okay, if you see, it has been placed into my third place because third is priority, then fourth. So third and fourth. If the item type was 1, it would be placed in 1. When 1 is full, it will go to the 2. Okay, so this is how the inbound opportunity, or you say inbound model, can be created for warehouse modeling. Okay, so that's all, guys. So this is part 1 of our advanced Flexsim. Let us have a look at now in the next part 2 of our warehouse modeling advanced Flexsim related to outbound process. So the inbound is done. Let us understand the outbound process in the next video in detail. So thanks for watching this, guys. Keep watching our website leansimcorp.com, and don't forget to visit our YouTube channel Leansimcorp for exciting simulation and engineering related content. So that's all for today, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.